Hello everyone. This video is made for LLM students, those who are preparing for SEM 2 examination, and they are having one subject called judicial process as it is a part of group 1. So I am reading some of the important questions. Those students who don't get time to study properly by sitting at a single place, they can also listen this video while watching the screen so that they can study while traveling also. So let's start. First question. Explain in detail public interest litigation as a judicial arm, creating new dimensions for achieving justice, thereby forming a significant part of judicial process. Public interest litigation, a judicial arm, creating new dimensions for achieving justice. Introduction. Public interest litigation (PIL) is a powerful judicial innovation that allows courts to address the grievances of the public, especially the marginalized, even when they are not in a position to approach the court themselves. It emerged as a transformative tool in the hands of the judiciary, especially in countries like India, where it has become a vital part of the judicial process. PIL expands the traditional scope of litigation by allowing individuals or groups to file cases for the benefit of the public or a disadvantaged section of society. Concept and definition. Public interest litigation refers to a legal action initiated in a court of law for the enforcement of public interest, particularly where the rights of disadvantaged or underprivileged groups are at stake. Unlike traditional in litigation, PIL does not require a direct personal interest in the case, can be filed by any public-spirited individual or organization, is aimed at ensuring justice in matters of public concern. Historical background and evolution. The concept of PIL developed in the United States during the 1960s as a part of the civil rights movement. In India, it gained prominence during the late 1970s and early 1980s under the leadership of judges like Justice P.N. Bhagwati and Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer. Early Indian PIL cases addressed issues such as prison conditions, bonded labor, environmental protection, rights of slum dwellers and the homeless. Legal basis of PIL in India. Article 32 and Article 226 of the Indian Constitution allows individuals to approach the Supreme Court and High Courts for enforcement of fundamental rights. Relaxation of locus standi. The traditional rule requiring direct injury or standing was relaxed. PIL can now be initiated by a third party on behalf of the affected. Key features of PIL. First feature, locus standi relaxed. Traditionally, only the aggrieved party could approach the court. PIL relaxes this rule, allowing third party to file petitions on behalf of others. Second, wider scope covers fundamental rights violations, environmental protection, consumer rights, prisoners' rights, and more. Third feature, flexible procedures. Courts often treat letters or postcards as PILs. The process is informal and accessible. Fourth feature, proactive role of judiciary. Courts may issue guidelines, monitor implementation, and even set deadlines for executive action. Judiciary creativity through PIL. PIL has become a judicial arm for justice delivery by PIL has become a powerful tool of judicial activism, where courts do not remain passive adjudicators but actively intervene to uphold rights, enforce laws, and address administrative inaction or corruption. Through PILs, the judiciary can address issues of governance, environmental degradation, corruption, human rights violations, and more, creating new rights and expanding existing ones. Right to a clean environment, right to education, right to shelter and livelihood, right to food, activating executive and legislative inaction. Courts have directed governments to act whereby they failed to protect public interest. forced implementation of welfare schemes, providing relief to disadvantaged groups, empowering the poor, women, children, and minorities, giving a voice to the voiceless in courts. Fourth, monitoring and supervising policy implementation. Courts have set up monitoring committees, example midday meal schemes, pollution control, judicial oversight on prison reforms, child welfare, and mental health institutions. Fifth, use of epistolary jurisdiction. Letters and postcards have been treated as writ petitions. Significance of PIL as a judicial arm. First, access to justice. Brings justice to poor, illiterate, and disadvantaged groups who cannot afford to litigate. Second, accountability of state machinery. Holds government bodies and public officials accountable for failure to perform duties. Third, good governance. Enhances transparency and responsiveness in administration. Fourth, policy influence. Courts, through PILs, often influence or shape public policy when the legislature or executive fails to act. Environmental protection. Landmark cases like MC Mehta versus Union of India have led to significant environmental regulations. Significance of PIL in the judicial process. Democratization of access to justice allows broad-based participation in the justice system. Judicial activism encourages proactive judicial role in promoting social justice. Enforcement of fundamental rights. Bridges the gap between law and social realities. Instrument for social transformation, plays a major role in achieving constitutional goals. Landmark PIL cases in India. Husainara Khatun vs. State of Bihar highlighted the plight of under trial prisoners. MC Mehta vs. Union of India 1986, and Husainara Khatun vs. State of Bihar the case was in 1979. MC Mehta vs. Union of India in 1986 led to environmental regulations and pollution control. Vishakha vs. State of Rajasthan guidelines led down to prevent sexual harassment at the workplace. People's Union for Democratic Rights vs. Union of India in 1982 addressed bonded labor and minimum wage issues. Criticisms and challenges of PIL. Judicial overreach. Sometimes courts may intrude into the domain of the legislature or executive. Frivolous PILs, misuse by individuals seeking publicity or personal gain. Overburdening of courts, diverts attention from regular casework. Lack of follow-up. Implementation of courts' directives is sometimes weak. So the conclusion is, public interest litigation has fundamentally reshaped the role of the judiciary in a democratic society. It has emerged as a judicial arm for social justice, expanding the meaning of fundamental rights and making justice accessible to the underprivileged. Despite certain criticisms and challenges, PIL continues to serve as a dynamic and evolving tool that strengthens constitutional governance and the rule of law. It stands as a testament to the judiciary's commitment to uphold justice, not just for individuals but for the collective good of society. I am referring this book, most likely questions LLM Semester 2, Judicial Process, Legal Education and Research Methodology. It has both the subjects with relevant case laws, and the author is Dr. Ambarish R. Patnigere. So I am referring this book. This is a good book. I have got this book, so you can refer this for your examination. In next video we'll read the second question. Thank you.